Hi, mate. Take one with you. We're showing people how to do the experiments. Rather than believe the scientists, we can do the science, and we'll see that no matter the distance over water, there's never any landscape lost behind curvature. Yet math says that there's supposed to be a considerable amount from 10 miles onwards. It gets bigger and bigger, the drop on the paper, but not in reality. Is it flat or a fourth dimensional shape? Dunno, don't care. It's the amount of money that they're having off us. 100 million a day of worldwide taxes goes to Hollywood imagery to show us a perfect shaped ball spinning from outer space, yet you'll never see the clouds move. You'll notice that now, I've told you. I've never seen it before I realised that we're being lied to. Also, another experiment, you make a video of the stars, and when you watch them in slow motion with lots of zoom, you'll see beautiful geometric patterns with no distortion. So twinkle twinkle, they're not what we think they are, and they're definitely not as far away as what we've been told either. And the best one is the easiest one as well. In your garden, you put 2 glasses of water, leave one in the shade, and you put the other one under direct full moon, or within a week after the full moon, and watch the temperature drop about 2 or 3 degrees within half an hour. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more. So that proves that they've not been to space. We're not where we think we are, and it's not the shape that we're being told, because there's supposed to be 8 inches per mile squared, because it's squared a distance to come back round. You won't. No one's even ever crossed the Antarctica. Not Richard Branson in a hot air balloon, no aircrafts, no video has ever been recorded going all the way across the Antarctica, because the Antarctica is not at the bottom. It's probably around us, but as I haven't been, I don't know. These are the only 3 things I know, and if I may, not only do they take 100 million a day, 40 billion a year, NASA are also trusted to spray all these chemicals that you see the new aeroplanes equipped with to combat climate change. I'm not so worried about the climate, the temperature. I'm more worried about the toxins that we're breathing in, eating, and being injected with, as well as the bombardment of radiation that we're told is totally safe. It's all an agenda to keep us controlled easy. We have blinkers, blinders on to not see what else there really is. We don't explore, we don't have our own imagination, and all we believe in is materialism because of this Big Bang bullshit that they've been pumping through our heads since we were 4 years old, before we had a critical mind to question and ask for evidence. We believe in gravity, which is a theory, which is probably just density. You don't float because you're heavier than the air, yet if you're in salt water, you float.
Okay.
You know, if you're in fresh water, you sink. That's density. Just like water vapour will rise until it condenses into a cloud and then raindrops. Density is a law. Gravity is a theory to explain the big bullshit. And it's
I'm agree with you.
Thank you. The evidence is everywhere. They contradict themselves with distances. There's never any stars behind any of the recordings. The moon looks quite small if you can see the horizon before and behind him, in front and behind him. And why is it so dull if we see it so bright? Again, the distances are wrong. There's no moon. And if you watch Red Bull, they cock up as well, because the horizon's at eye level, which it shouldn't be. It should drop the higher you go, and he went very high. And also there's no ocean, so that curve is a fisheye lens like a GoPro. They've been caught out, and we're trying to help people see it, because the more people that realise it, the sooner we can end that waste of money. Interesting, huh?
Ah.
I'll leave that flyer with you. It's
I saw a fake on YouTube. I saw.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff on YouTube now, but we're recommending that people do their own experiments rather than believe in secondary information. Get some first-hand experience, then you know that you're not going to lie to yourself. I better go, the police are looking at us. Thank you, sir.
I don't really understand with the water.
It's easy. That'll stay the same temperature because it's in the shade, where that'll drop in temperature. So that's a cooling light, a lesser light, where this is a greater light. This is hot, that's cold, masculine, feminine, in a big atmosphere. Try it for yourself and you'll see we're being lied to.
It's water. It's water.
Water, yeah, you put water in a glass and wait half an hour after with the full moon or a week after, and you watch the temperature go down, and use a magnifying glass, it'll go down 8, 9, 10 degrees. Crazy.
Go down.
Yeah. That's
Not
science.
go up.
No, it should stay the same or go a little bit up, but it goes down. So yeah, you check for yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and please help us share the experiments with your friends and family. Thank you. Bye bye. Would you like a flyer, sir? We're trying to tell people to do the experiments rather than believe the lies. Use your eyes. It's a lot of money that they're having off us, and they're also in charge of combating climate change with chemicals without knowing if it's got any secondary effects on our health. Thank you. Oh, you've got your hands full. I'd love to give you a flyer. We're asking people to do the science instead of believing scientists, which take a lot of money off us. You'll see that Moonlight chills water within half an hour if you leave a glass of water in your garden. You'll see there's no loss of landscape behind curvature, no matter the distance, which math says there has to be. Within 10, 15 miles you should lose quite a lot. And also if you make a video of the stars and then watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not as far away as we've been told. It's 100 million a day of our money going to Hollywood to keep us fooled, and they're also in charge of geoengineering, which is spraying chemicals instead of worrying about the toxins. They're worried about the temperature. Come on. Thanks, bruv. I don't suppose I can give you a flyer because you're working? No. Oh, it's a shame. Would you like to know what we're up to?
Yeah.
Okay. We're showing people that if they do the experiments for themselves, there is no loss behind curvature, no matter the distance at water level. Yet math says that after 10 miles there should be. Landscape should be hidden, but it isn't. We're told stars are 20 trillion miles away or more. Yet if you make a video with a new camera with a big lens and then watch that video in slow motion, you'll see that are not that far away. There's no distortion, it's high resolution. And the best one is if you leave water under moonlight for half an hour, it'll drop in temperature. So they're having 100 million per day, 40 billion a year of our money to fool us with Hollywood imagery. Because next time you see that ball spinning, watch the clouds. Half the rotation, they're still the same clouds, they haven't moved. So it's all Hollywood crap, it's Spider-Man stuff. And the other thing, apart from the money, is they're spraying all this rubbish in the sky to combat climate change without caring about the secondary effects on our health. We should be more worried about the toxins, not the temperature.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Pleasure. Nice. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Can I give you a flyer to check for yourself? We're being lied to for a lot of money.
Okay.
Thank you. I was laughing about it for months until I checked for myself. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. You only need a thermometer and a glass of water and you'll see it yourself. No matter the distance, you look at water level, because you live close to the ocean. No matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind curvature, yet math says we're supposed to. I believe the math. it doesn't appear in reality, and make a video of stars and watch the video in slow motion, and you'll see they're not 20 trillion miles away like we're being told. We're being lied to for 100 million a day, 40 billion a year that could help investigate illnesses, and they're also in charge of geoengineering. I'm more worried about the toxins that they're spraying than the temperature change, and I don't think the government should trust them with them nicking all that money off us, which is easily provable. Thanks, guys. And if you've done the experiments and you see we're onto something, please share the experiments with your friends and family. We've got to stop this craziness. Thank you. Have a nice day. Can I give you a flyer, sir, and you can check the experiments for yourself? We're being lied to for 100 million a day, 40 billion a year. Could be much better invested. Thank you. Would you like a flyer, darling? Okay. We're not asking people to believe us, we're showing people how to check for themselves. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. It's a feminine energy. Every month a new moon, no? You just put a glass of water in your garden and you'll see it drop in temperature with your thermometer within half an hour. And if you use a magnifying glass, you'll see it drop even more in temperature. So they haven't been to the moon. Michael Jackson's the only one that can do the moonwalk. Yeah, Neil Armstrong, it's all bullshit. Also, there's no curvature at water level, no matter the distance. I've checked 20 miles, there's supposed to be 80 metres, there's not. You look from Blackpool to the Isle of Man, you see the Isle of Man. It's 100 miles away, you're not supposed to see it. But do check for yourselves, the ocean's not far away, and make a video of stars and watch the video in slow motion. You'll see no distortion from them being 25 trillion miles away. That's a load of rubbish. The Big Bang's a load of crap to make us all materialistic and feel like we're lost in space, insecure. It's all 100 million a day, 40 billion a year that could research illnesses and end world hunger. 100 million a day, 40 billion a year. And the governments trust them so much that they let them spray all these chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. How about we worry more about the toxins that we're breathing in instead of the temperature? And they're promoting GMOs that we eat, stuff that they pump in our blood, and all this radiation that we're bombarded with. We understood that secondary smoke was dangerous, yet we're not that bothered about the radiation because we've been told to believe that it's safe. Just like we've been told to believe in the ball, yet when you watch that ball spinning next time you see it on that television that programs us.
This is what I study at school.
Good girl. You take one and get your...
No, I mean, I study.
Because studying secondary information that conflicts with your primary observations is indoctrination. Okay, I believe my senses, and I believe my camera, and I believe my thermometer. I don't believe secondary information that contradicts my personal experience of applying scientific method. We're being lied to because there's an agenda. It's to get a lot of money, and it's to keep us easy to control. If we think we're free, we're not going to rebel. They don't want us to know we're slaves, so they tell us we're on a ball. Yet next time you see that ball spinning, on television, you look at the clouds, and you won't see the clouds moving throughout the whole rotation. It's all Hollywood. I know Spider-Man and Superman's crap, so why do I believe in the ball? Because they told me at 4 or 5 years old to believe in gravity to explain why people don't fall off. Gravity is a theory, hence the theory of gravity, like the theory of evolution. Density is a law, that's why you don't float.
Because of centripetal acceleration.
So we've been told, but no one can prove any movement, no one can prove gravity. It's all theoretical nonsense to keep us on globe syndrome so that we don't explore. Because you think that if you go past the Antarctica, you'll come back to the same place. Nobody's ever crossed the Antarctica. Not even Richard Branson or SpaceX. No one's ever gone over the Antarctica. Why? With all the technology we've got? Maybe because it's not on the bottom of a ball. Maybe there's...
I respect your opinion, and I'm very happy that I got to learn today.
Thank you. Well, as I say, you've learned some ways to check for yourself rather than have a belief in what I'm saying or keep believing in what you see on television.
Figure it out for myself.
Check for yourself. There's easy experiments there, and I really appreciate you listening to me.
Of course. Good luck.
That is scientific method. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Can I give you a flyer, sir? We're asking people to check for themselves. We're being lied to for a lot of money. Moonlight chills water. Within half an hour you can check with your thermometer. There's no curve at water level. You live close to the seaside. And if you make a video of stars and watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not as far away as we're being told. They take 100 million a day that could go towards researching illnesses and ending world hunger. You don't have to take a flyer, but at least now you know how to check for yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Sorry to disturb you. Can I give you a flyer? Thank you very much. It sounds pathetic, but we did the experiments and we've seen we're being lied to about Moonlight. It chills water.
Right.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. We're showing people how to check for themselves. The simple scientific experiments prove that we're being lied to. Moonlight chills water. Check in your garden with a glass of water and a thermometer, and make a video of the stars, and you'll see they're not that far away when you watch them in slow motion. Do you want one, guys? What do you think? Sounds crazy. We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're being lied to. There's no curvature at water level, so if Earth's 70% covered in level water, it can't be a ball. We don't know if it's flat or fourth dimensional. We just know that NASA are ripping us off. Not just NASA, the whole world's got space agencies. All together accumulated, it's 100 million a day. That's 40 billion a year that could research illnesses and help end world hunger. Also, we can prove that stars aren't that far away by making a video, and watching the video in slow motion you'll see beautiful geometric shapes change colour and size. They're not that far away, there's no distortion. And Moonlight chills water. You can check in your garden with a thermometer and a glass of water. It's so easy to prove that they were being lied to for a lot of money. And also, not just the 40 billion a year, they're also spraying chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. I'm more worried about the toxins than the temperature, mate. Also, they're promoting GMOs and vaccinations and 5G as totally safe because there's an agenda. They keep us easy to control. We don't realise we're slaves because we think we're free. Because we think that if we go around the bottom of the ball, we'll come back to the same place. Yet no one's ever travelled over the Antarctica, not even Richard Branson or SpaceX. They're lying to us for a lot of money, and they're poisoning our food, our blood and our skies. So we've got to try and show people how to wake up and spread the easy ways to prove it, and hope that when there's enough of us, it stops.
I'll have a look.
Thanks, mate. That's all we're asking. Not to believe us. Check for yourself and then you'll know.
No worries.
Thanks, my friend. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Sounds crazy, but if you check for yourself, you'll see we're being lied to. We're not asking people to believe, we're saying check for yourself. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. So they haven't been to the moon. 100 million a day is 40 billion a year of our money that goes to waste to keep us programmed with what we believe on television. Thank you. Scientists, believe your own experience and you'll see that we're being lied to for a lot of money, and to keep us like we think we're free, but really we're slaves. We've got globe syndrome, yet there's no curvature at water level. You check for yourself. Thanks, mate. Have a lovely day. Would you like a flyer, mate? We're being lied to. It's so easy to check for yourself. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. Make a video of the stars and you'll see they're not that far away when you watch them in the video in slow motion. And as you live close to the ocean, you look at water level, no matter the distance, nothing's ever lost below curvature. 100 million a day, 40 billion a year of our money goes to waste. Thank you.
Yeah, they call them stars, but if you use a power.
Can I give you a flyer, mate? We're being lied to and it's really easy to check for yourself. Moonlight chills water within half an hour.
I'll take it.
No problem. Have a lovely day. Would you like a flyer, mate? No? Sure thing. Have a nice day. That's a very nice camera. I've done a video of the stars. Say again? Oh, well, just to tell you, if you make a video of a star with that camera and watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not that far away. Oh, what a shame. Have a lovely day. Hello, can I give you a flyer? We're being lied to, and all you need to do is check for yourself. A thermometer, it'll show you that moonlight chills water. Have a nice day. We're being lied to for a lot of money every day. They're taking 100 million a day, 40 billion a year, that could be researching illnesses and ending world hunger. You can prove it by leaving water under the moonlight for half an hour, and you'll see it chills. You can also make a video of stars and watch the video in slow motion. You'll see they're not that far away, and no matter the distance, there's no loss of landscape behind curvature. We're being lied to. Thank you. It's easy to check for yourself. You only need to leave a glass of water in your garden under moonlight. Sure. Have a nice day. Check for yourself. Moonlight chills water. We're being lied to. Have a nice day. Hello. We're being lied to. You can check for yourself with a thermometer. You'll see that moonlight chills water, and make a video of stars and you'll see they're not that far away when you watch them in slow motion. Thank you. Believe it until you know from doing the experiments yourself. I laughed at it at first, but there is no measurable curvature at water level, no matter the distance. Yet mathematics says that on a sphere 25,000 miles in circumference, after 10 miles is supposed to be 66 feet drop, after 20 miles is supposed to be 80 metres drop. Yet I've checked where I live in Benidorm, and you can check here, there's an ocean close. You won't lose any landscape behind curvature, so the mathematics doesn't show in reality. It's just calculations to explain a ball that we can't find any evidence of, because if water's always level, then how can we be on a ball if it's 70% water, level water? Also, they're lying to us about the situation because they say that stars are really far away. Yet if you make a video of the stars with a good camera with a big lens and then watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not 25 trillion miles away and there's no distortion. They're very high resolution videos you can take nowadays, which show they're a lot closer. So the Big Bang seems to be a load of bullshit as well. Because if we were following the sun at 500,000 miles an hour and orbiting it at 66,000 miles an hour, how did we get back to Earth when we went to the moon? Because we'd leave Earth's gravity, we'd need to get back up to Earth's speed. We haven't got a rocket that goes 66,000 miles an hour. Never mind the sun's 500,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, plus added the expansion of the universe.
Yeah, it's all theoretical. The theory of Big Bang, the theory of evolution, and like I say, the globe syndrome stops us from exploring. Yet no one's ever travelled over or past the Antarctica. Even Richard Branson and all that, with all the technology.
Like a small section.
It's supposed to be easy,
Also,
nowadays.
Why hasn't there been anybody else to the moon?
Well, this is a good point. They say they could go in the 60s, but they haven't been back since.
Yeah,
so it's a big scam. I'm glad you're open-minded. And also, when we did an experiment with Moonlight and we saw that it drops in the water drops in temperature within half an hour, only a few degrees. But you think, well, hold on. If that's reflecting sunlight, it should be warm or neutral. It shouldn't chill, but it does.
Yeah.
And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll chill even more than that. It'll go down to 10 degrees colder. It's crazy, but it's so easy to prove. We just need to spread the word. I'll let you go, but just to tell you, that's 100 million a day of our taxes goes to Hollywood to fool us. That's 40 billion a year that could go towards researching illnesses and ending world hunger. It's a lot of money. And also the governments trust them to do geoengineering, artificial weather modification. I'm more worried about the toxins than the temperature change. Also the GMO and the vaccinations and the radiation. It's all propaganda to keep us happy and silly and believing them rather than believing our primary observations.
Our bodies are like electromagnetic.
Nice one,
stuff
you got it.
We get affected by.
It's obvious, isn't it? 2 + 2. I'm even worried about my mobile phone, so I'll leave it in another room as much as possible. I turn it off when I'm not using it now because I'm thinking, my poor testicles are getting fried.
It's not just this, it's our
Exactly,
brains.
because we've got it right next to our brain all the time. No wonder we're getting so dumbed down and blind to all these things, because we're so distracted and so programmed by television, and we've got toxic thoughts because of all the toxic stuff we're breathing, eating, and sadly that's been injected in us. Even gravity. We were told to believe in a theory of gravity when we were 4 or 5 years old, before we had critical mind to actually ask for evidence. So we've just been brought up believing it, and now everyone believes it. We don't question it. We know that density exists. The law of density is that you'll float in salt water but sink in fresh water. We know that water vapor will evaporate until it condenses into a cloud and raindrops. So density is measurable, observable, repeatable, but gravity isn't. Neither is evolution or the Big Bang. So we've got to scrap all this rubbish that they're programming us with, stop them taking all of our money, and try and come together and stop all these toxins and radiations from hurting health, because we believe too much in scientists rather than doing our own scientific experiments. What's your name, sorry?
Johannes.
Johannes, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're the best conversation I've had so far. Very open-minded and really scientific to put things to experiments rather than just say no. Many people just say, no, that's not true, I believe in science. And I'm like, well, do the science. And they're like, no, it's stupid. And I'm like, that's religious.
Yeah,
that's
true.
the difference.
The only issue that I have is, how do you know what's the truth?
We don't.
Like, exactly.
But the idea of science is to reduce the false variables to get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
So we're closer to believing, we still believe that the Earth is either flat because water is always level, or I think, well, maybe it's a 4th dimensional shape and we might never know. So they have us arguing about, is it flat? Just like they've had us arguing about religion and arguing about politics throughout history. I'm saying, let's not argue about what it might be, let's prove what it isn't.
Yeah, true.
That's good, yeah?
Yeah.
Stop the money going to waste, stop programming us to think we're insignificant, lost in space.
Yeah.
Yeah? And let's have our own imagination until we find out more.
They give us these huge problems, like governments, where we can argue about and break our heads.
Exactly. And
just
fight
forget,
each other.
Yeah, and forget about what's truly important.
Exactly. To live and to explore. And that's another thing. If we think we're on a globe, I call it globe syndrome. We're not going to travel because we think we'll just come back to the same place.
Yeah.
But if we know we're not on a globe, then we're going to want to travel and explore.
Yeah. And where's the next?
Exactly. Maybe there's extra terrain where there's extra resources and extraterrestrials. Maybe they're not that far away. Yeah. Like I say, you make a video of a star or a planet and you'll see they're not made of rock, they're not made of gas. They're lights that change beautiful geometric patterns. Within a few seconds you'll have like 10 different patterns, which is why you have to watch it in slow motion to appreciate it.
You can even see it if you stare at the moon and you just stare at it.
It's so
for like
bright.
a minute or so.
Yeah, it's really bright, and you close your eyes and you get this flickering and you think, wow, that's very bright.
Yeah.
How come when they're walking on it, it's dull?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
And luckily people are starting to wake up to all the lies.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know the truth, we're better off just saying, no, we're not falling for that crap anymore. Stop programming us, stop lying to us, and stop taking our money.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like, we're sweating as hell trying to provide for them, and they don't give us anything in
all they give us is toxins in the sky, toxins in the food, and want to pump shit into our bloodstream.
Yeah, a better working system.
Oh yeah, because if we've got toxic in our system, it probably causes toxic thoughts, and it probably causes us to be closed-minded, because sadly we're less sensitive to the reality because we've got so many other things inside us that are causing confusion in our organism, so we're not as aware and alert and critically thinking as we should be.
Yeah, and if we keep on like not thinking for ourselves, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
We're in the matrix and we're getting deeper and deeper, so we've got to start swimming out.
Yeah, the more you think of life as a dream, the more dream life becomes.
Exactly. I appreciate this conversation.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
a pleasure.
You're really lighting my mood.
Well, once you've checked for yourself, because you never know, I could be lying.
Yeah.
Once you've checked them experiments, please share with your friends and family. The more of us there are, the sooner we can end this rubbish.
Yeah, it's true.
Thanks, my
Have a
friend.
great day.
You have a great day.
Thanks.
Take care. I'm sure you enjoy science. Rather than believing secondary information, check for yourself, and you'll see that no matter the distance, there's no landscape lost behind curvature. Do a video of stars and you'll see they're not that far away. When you watch them in slow motion, there's no distortion, it's high definition. Check for yourself with a camera with a big lens. And you only need a thermometer from your mum, and you'll be able to check that water drops in temperature within half an hour. So it's not a rock reflecting sunlight like we're programmed to believe. So we shouldn't let them take 100 million a day, which is 40 billion a year, that could help research illnesses and end world hunger.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good day. Can I give you a flyer, darling? We're asking people to check for themselves.
No, thank you very much.
No, it's okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello. We're showing people how to do the science rather than believe the scientists. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. Moonlight chills water, check for yourself. And have a nice day. We're showing people how to check for themselves.
No thanks.
No prob. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. That's 40 billion a year that could, of our taxes, that could go towards ending world hunger and researching illnesses. How do we check? Simply, at water level, preferably the ocean, no matter the distance, you don't lose any landscape below or behind curvature. Yet math says that on a ball of 25,000 miles in circumference, you should clearly lose a lot of landscape from 10 miles onwards. Check for yourself. I could be lying. Could be Photoshop.
You never know.
You never know. They take 100 million. I'm just after trying to expose the lies, but you never know. So yeah, don't believe secondary information. Believe your primary observations. Also, stars, they tell us are 20 trillion miles away at least. Yet if you make a video with a modern camera with a big lens and watch the video in slow motion, you'll see high definition, no distortion. They change shape, size, like geometric shapes, very fast. That's why you have to watch it in slow motion to appreciate. So the Big Bang's a load of balls to make us feel like we're lost in space. We're insignificant, we're tiny. So no matter whether you believe in nature or creator, you're nothing. Well, actually, we're geocentric because we still see the same star signs as the Egyptians did when they built the pyramids in line with Orion's belt. The Aztecs and Mayan calendars that were engraved in stone roughly 10,000 years ago, we still see the same stars in the same position. Aquarius hasn't dropped any water. Scorpio's still got the claws in the same place. So it's a load of balls. And like I say, if you think about the Earth's following the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, being dragged by the sun, and then you think, well, the sun's we're also orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, yeah?
Yep.
So if we've gone to the moon, or if we go to Mars or wherever, we've left Earth's gravity, yeah? So to get back to Earth, we'd have to go faster than the 66,000 miles an hour. We haven't got a rocket that goes that fast, never mind as fast as the sun. So they're lying to us for 100 million a day. And guess what? They say they went and walked on the moon. It's a rock that reflects sunlight. Why was it dull when they were walking on it when we see it so bright? And how come when we leave water under direct moonlight, full moon or a week from the full moon, it drops in temperature 2 to 3 degrees, the water does. You can do it with one glass before and after, or you can leave one in the shade and one in the direct light. You'll see that stays the same where that drops. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more in temperature. Easy scientific experiments that prove that they're ripping us off and keeping us dumbed down. And not only that, the governments 50 around the world trust NASA to spray chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. I'm more worried about the toxins that we're breathing in than the temperature change. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because there's an agenda in the food that they put chemicals in the stuff they pump in our blood, and all the radiation that we're being bombarded with. We understood that secondary smoke was dangerous, yet we're told to believe that this radiation and all this other stuff isn't. We need to stop believing scientists with agendas and start doing our own science to prove and come together. Hopefully, with enough of us, we'll stop all this nonsense.
Interesting.
It is. And there's a few more bits on there that you'll find interesting as well. You have a lovely day. Thank you so much. Did you know that Moonlight chills water? Yeah, I'll leave one of these with you. We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're being lied to about science by scientists that are getting a lot of money. They tell us that we live on a ball, yet there's no curvature found at water level. So if water's always level, and it's 70% covered in level water, the Earth can't be a ball. We don't know if it's flat or a fourth dimensional shape. We just know that there's not the curve that they should be mathematically. Would you like a flyer, darling?
Thank you.
You leave a glass of water in the moonlight and check how it drops in temperature with a thermometer. So they obviously haven't walked on a cold light. If it was a rock reflecting sunlight, it would be warm or neutral. And as well as there being no curvature and water chilling with moonlight, you can make a video of stars, and then watch that video in slow motion and you'll see high definition. There's no distortion, so they're not 20 trillion miles away like we're being told. They take 100 million a day of worldwide taxes. That's 40 billion a year that could help end world hunger and go towards researching illnesses instead of going towards Hollywood to fool us. Yeah, it's got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And have a lovely day.
Likewise.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Can I give you a flyer, love?
Okay.
We're showing people how to do the science. Ah, that's burning my hand. Ow! We're showing people how simple it is to prove we're being lied to. All you need to do is check at the ocean, because we're not far from the ocean here, and no matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind curvature. Yet mathematics says that after 15 miles you're supposed to lose a considerable lot. So the bigger the distance, the bigger the drop. You check for yourself, it's only in mathematic equations, it doesn't exist in reality. I don't know if Earth's flat or fourth dimensional, don't really care. I just don't like that they're taking 100 million a day, 40 billion a year of worldwide taxes to give us Hollywood programming, to keep us with globe syndrome so that we don't explore, when we could put that money towards investigating prevention and cures for illnesses and ending world hunger. Another experiment is make a video of the stars and watch the video in slow motion, or supposed planets. They're actually wandering stars, it looks like, because there's no difference, they're just closer. You'll see them in high definition, there's no distortion, so they're not 25 trillion miles away. And the Big Bang's a load of balls, because if we were going around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour like they tell us, then how did we get to the moon, or how would we go to Mars? When we've left Earth's gravity, we'd need to go faster than Earth's orbit to get back to Earth. We haven't got a rocket that goes 66,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
It's obvious. Moonlight chills water. You can check with a thermometer in your garden and a glass of water in the shade, and you'll see that stays the same temperature where that drops, and if you use a magnifying glass it'll drop even more. So yeah, the 100 million a day, we could invest that better. And also, the government shouldn't trust them to spray all them chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. We should be more worried about the toxins we're breathing in, eating, and being injected with, and the radiation that we're being bombarded with. These scientists are promoting everything safe because there's an agenda behind it. Sounds sensible? But don't believe what I'm saying, because that's secondary information. You check for yourself, primary observation, and then we can get rid of these obsolete theories.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Yeah, bro. Can I give you a flyer? I'm doing great, mate.
Aye, they're getting recorded.
If that's alright with you, we're just showing people how to check for themselves instead of believing scientists. We should do their own experiments. Guess what?
Aye.
These dickheads take 100 million a day. That's 40 billion a year that could help end world hunger and poverty and go towards researching preventions and cures for illnesses. It's a lot of money that's going to waste, and people don't realise it because we believe what we see on television.
And television tells truth.
Well,
you get 80% lies and 20% truth.
Good lad. And you can prove it at water level. You'll never lose any landscape behind the curvature. You do a video of a star, or get a friend that's got a camera to do a video of a star, and you'll see in slow motion that they're not distortion and not that far away. We're being lied to about the situation. And did you know that moonlight chills water? Hence why on a full moon it's freezing. Yeah, all you need is a thermometer and you can see for yourself that we're being lied to.
Wow.
Thanks, bro. Here, let me give you some change.
But can I ask you a favour?
Yeah, of course.
Right, I know it's not always about the chat, right? But can I ask you one big favour? Right? I've got £5 here, right?
Yeah.
If I give you a fiver, right? If you help me with £4 to give you a £10 note, please.
I've only got that, mate. But you take it.
It's just I'm trying to get in Bobby's bunkhouse, eh? I gave a guy £8, right? He was helping me with 2 and he fucking ran away with it.
What a wanker.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm with a friend. I'll ask him if he's got any change.
I've only got 2 beds left in Bobby's bunkhouse.
I'm sorry about that, mate. That's why we're out trying to say stop wasting our money, which could go towards better causes, looking after the people instead of these rich gits. I'm going to go ask my mate, and on our way back, if you're still here, we'll give you a bit more.
You know what else? I've got to leave in 5 minutes, eh?
Yeah,
I've got an appointment to go to.
I think we're about done anyway, so if we catch you on the way back, I'll give you a few more quid, because my friend will have a bit of change on him.
Is it? Where's your friend, like?
Just round the corner.
Aye?
Yeah, we got a big banner. You come and have a look. Mind-blowing.
Is it? Well, I need to get up because I've got an appointment anyway.
Good lad.
So,
come and ask.
I'll walk with you.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. No problem.
But here, that's amazing about the sun reducing water. That's actually...
It's unbelievable, and it's so simple to check, and that's what we're saying to people.
I've got a thermometer. How would it show me, bro?
Well, what you do is, you either leave the water in the shade, check the temperature, and then leave it in the moonlight for half an hour and watch it drop, or you get 2 glasses of water and leave one in the shade for half an hour while the other one's in the moonlight.
Is there a certain time in moonlight?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's either the full moon or a week from the full moon, you know? It's called the waning phase.
Is that sunset or sunrise?
Oh no, like, you know, if it's a dark sky and it's no clouds and you can put it under direct moonlight, you'll watch it drop in temperature about 2 or 3 degrees, which isn't much, but you'd expect moonlight to be warm or neutral. Yeah, science, that's real science, not believing theories and scientists. Yeah, that's my mate. We'll ask you, probably have a few quid, mate. No problem. We all have a ruck sometimes.
You know what it is, pal? I'm at the council every day, right?
Yeah, I'll just pause this.
Yeah, I'm agreed.
Moonlight chills water within half an hour. You can check with a thermometer, don't believe what I'm saying. Do a video of the stars and then watch the video in slow motion, and you see them in high definition, changing shape, colour and size, so they're not 20 trillion miles away. And yeah, I've told you about the moon. No matter the distance, you'll never lose any landscape behind curvature. There is no curvature. We don't know if the Earth's flat or fourth dimensional. We just know that we're being lied to for 100 million a day, 40 billion a year, that could go towards researching illnesses and ending world hunger. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. You have a great day, mate. Take care. Can I give you lovely ladies a flyer? We're showing people how to do this experiments for yourself. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. So I don't believe that Neil Armstrong went and walked on a rock that reflects sunlight, because if it was reflecting sunlight it'd be warm or at least neutral, but it actually chills water. And if you do a video of stars and then watch the video in slow motion, you'll see them changing beautiful geometric shapes in slow motion, as I say, because they twinkle fast. And that proves that they're not 20 trillion miles away, which is meaning that the Big Bang's a load of balls as well. Because if we were really following the sun at 500,000 miles an hour and orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, how would we get back to Earth when we go to the moon? We haven't got a rocket that goes that fast. And no matter the distance, water is always level. You'll never lose landscape behind it. We're being lied to. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Would you like a fly, mate? We're showing people how to check for themselves, so we're being lied to for 100 million a day, 40 billion a year. You do the experiments and you'll know from personal experience. Thanks, bruv. Have a nice day. Scientists, we're showing people to do the science for yourself. You'll see that moonlight chills water within half an hour. You only need a thermometer. That proves that it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. You make a video of the stars and watch the video in slow motion, and you see high definition, no distortion in them twinkles, which proves they're not 25 trillion miles away. And no matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind water. No matter the distance, even though math says after 15 miles you should lose a considerable amount, which proves water's always level. So if Earth's 70% covered in level water, it can't be a ball. They're taking 100 million a day, that's 40 billion a year, to fool us with Hollywood imagery. Because next time you see that Earth turn on TV, you look at the clouds, they're not moving. It's all Disney, it's cartoons. Thank you, and that money could really help a lot more people. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I was laughing at it when I first heard about it, and then I did the experiments. You check for yourself, we're not asking anyone to believe us. Moonlight chills water within half an hour. so it doesn't it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. Make a video of stars and watch it in slow motion with high definition, no distortion, so they're not 20 trillion miles away, and no matter the distance at water level, you'll never lose landscape behind curvature. So it's either flat or fourth dimensional, we don't know. We're just saying that they're having a lot of money off us to keep us blind and dumbed down. You check for yourself, mate. Keep an open mind. That's science.
Thank you.
Don't believe the scientists with an agenda, you know? Thanks, bruv.
The earth is round.
I didn't believe it until I checked for myself.
Nah, I'm good, thank
Well, just to tell you, you check for yourself, that's science. If you're just going to believe secondary information, that's religious. We're saying
Don't
if...
believe in religion.
Good, so do the science. You only need a thermometer and you leave a glass of water under direct full moon or a week within the full moon and you'll see it drop in temperature. So it's not a rock reflecting sunlight, or it would be warm or neutral. It chills water, and if you use a magnifying glass it chills it more. Make a video of a star or a planet and watch the video in slow motion. You'll see they're not 25 trillion miles away because there's no distortion, just high resolution geometric patterns, twinkle twinkle. And they say we're on a ball 25,000 miles circumference. Check the math. After 20 miles you're supposed to lose 80 meters. Where I live you obviously don't, because I can see buildings in the day and street lights along the beachfront at night. And then you check 100 miles from Blackpool to Isle of Man and you will see the Isle of Man. So there's never a loss of landscape behind curvature. If water's always level and Earth's 70% water, level water, how can it be a ball? They're taking 100 million a day to keep us fooled with Hollywood imagery and videos. And
What's the point, though?
They're taking 100 million a day, that's 40 billion a year, that could go towards researching illnesses and ending world hunger. And also, if we've got this globe syndrome that we can't travel because we'll come back to the same place, then we think we're free, but we're actually slaves, and we'll never rebel because we think we're free. Also, we're breathing in that toxic crap that they're spraying to combat climate change. I'm worried more about the toxic shit that we're breathing in, eating and being injected, and the radiation we're being bombarded with. They tell us it's all safe because they've got motives, agenda. You check for yourself, my friend. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That is science. Nice one. You have a nice
Yeah,
day.
you two, you're the biggest group on the entire globe.
On the plane. No, but we don't know if it's flat. It could be a fourth dimensional shape.
But
And
can
if
we not see it? Because it's like our humans are so small.
But I'll say it to you again.
The
We're
planet
not.
is massive. It takes
I'll say it to you
over
again.
20 hours to travel around the entire world.
Mathematics states that over 20 miles there's 80 meters drop. Yet the observation is only on paper. You will never see landscape below, hidden below or behind curvature. So if you don't see the mathematic equation in reality, it's just an equation, it's a theory. The natural observation is that water's always level, and like you've been looking at my posters, if you
I think it's interesting.
it is, and that is scientific process. Cancel all the false equations until you're closer to the truth. Now you were looking at this, yeah? You watch this video on YouTube, it's the Red Bull skydive. He went up about 40 kilometers and the horizon's at eye level. That wouldn't be possible on a ball because the higher you go up, the lower the horizon would drop. You'd have to look down. He doesn't. And when you see all that curvature, you won't see any water, yet the Earth's 70% covered in water. They use the fisheye lens to fool us. And not only are Red Bull fooling us, SpaceX,
Red Bull's fooling
of course, because
Red
they're all...
Bull would do that?
Watch the video and you...
Best energy drink?
Does that make sense though? What I'm saying, that the horizon's at eye level when it should be down there, and that there should be ocean. You can see that that's wrong, yeah?
Right.
Also, if SpaceX were claiming to be 177 kilometers from the Earth, why is the Earth so small when the International Space Station says it's a lot further away, yet we see a bigger Earth?
Okay, well it says if all governments on Earth are like on a team about believing this, then why do we still have wars, and why do governments still like fight against each other?
Because governments aren't fighting with each other, they have us fighting each other. You've heard about keeping the population down, keeping the people scared so that
It's not working too well though, is it?
Luckily science is helping us break free from all the indoctrination. They've always had us arguing about religion, they've always had us arguing about politics, they've always had us going to war with each other. Now they're having us argue about science because the scientists are propagating that everything that we question is ridiculous.
I believe science.
Well, so do I. That's why I'm asking people to check for themselves. And when you watch the official...
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
It is. And when you've done them experiments, you won't believe, you'll know from having personal observation instead of believing in secondary information. And let me just tell you this. All of their stuff that you watch, there's never any stars behind the globe. And when you watch the globe spinning from outer space, you'll never see the clouds move. You'll see the same clouds all the way around. Now I can look up at the sky now against that roof, and I'll see the clouds moving a little bit in real time.
The Earth is massive because it's moving above us because we're very small compared to the massive size of the Earth. I
appreciate that, but do you understand what I'm saying? We're nearly done. Don't worry.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if half a rotation is 12 hours, 12 hours. Yeah? And those clouds haven't moved an inch or an even millimetre, then that means it's a Photoshop, it's Hollywood, Disney, it's rubbish. If it was real, the clouds would be moving while the Earth's spinning, wouldn't it? Right. Now, I never noticed that until I started looking into this, and now people are catching them out. Not only are the distances wrong, and the clouds never moving, there's never any stars behind their recordings, and the moon looks dull when they're on it, yet the moon looks very bright when we're on it. And like I said, that's all observation. You check with a thermometer and you'll see that moonlight chills water.
Right, sounds good.
You do that, mate. I'll blur your face out if you prefer.
Okay, just don't use it.
I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. And thanks, have a good conversation. Take care. Can I give you a flyer to read, mate? It shows you how to check for yourself that we're being lied to. They say that the moon reflects sunlight, yet if you check with a thermometer, it chills water within half an hour. And also they tell us stars are really far away, yet if you check with a camera by making a video and watching a video in slow motion, you won't see any distortion. They're a lot closer than what they tell us. And I don't know if Earth's flat, but all I know is the mathematics says that after 20 miles there's supposed to be 80 metres drop. The further the distance, the bigger the drop. It doesn't appear in reality. Water's always level. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. That could go towards a lot better things than Hollywood to fool us. Thanks, bruv. Can I give you a flyer? We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're being lied to for 40 billion a year, 100 million a day. And all you have to do is put a glass of water under direct full moonlight or within a week after the full moon, and you see it drop in temperature. So it's obviously not a rock reflecting sunlight, otherwise it'd be warm or neutral. It drops in temperature, and even more if you use a magnifying glass. You'll never lose landscape behind curvature at water level, no matter the distance, yet math says you should. And if you make a video of a star or a planet and then watch the video in slow motion, you'll see them change beautiful geometric patterns really fast, which is high definition recordings in your own camera, so you know that there's no distortion from being 25 trillion miles away. They're lying to us for 100 million a day. That could end world hunger and go towards investigating cures and preventions for illnesses. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Sorry, can I give you a flyer? You can check for yourself. We're finding that moonlight chills water within half an hour. You only need a thermometer to check for yourself with a glass of water. Okay. No matter the distance, there's never any landscape lost behind curvature. Yet mathematics say that after 20 miles there's supposed to be 80 metres drop, and the further the distance, the bigger the drop. It doesn't appear in reality, only in calculations. Okay. And if you make a video of a star or a planet and then watch that video in slow motion, you'll see no distortion, very high resolution geometric patterns changing fast. That's why you have to watch it in slow motion. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. That's 40 billion a year of our worldwide taxes that could go towards ending world hunger and researching illnesses to prevent and cure them. So it's a real big deal. And the governments trust NASA to pump all this chemical in the sky to combat climate change. I'm more worried about the toxins than the temperature. Check it out for yourselves, and please help share the information with your friends and family. Thank you. Have a lovely day. We're showing people how to do the experiments rather than believe scientists, which have got an agenda, which is normally to control the population and, take a lot of money from us. We're showing people that if you check the mathematics, you won't find the curvature in reality. It's water's always level, so that proves we're not on a globe.
I'm looking at it for years, man.
Oh, good lad, good lad.
Honestly, man, I noticed your t-shirt straight away, but
Thank you.
I'm somewhere in the middle now, because it's like you fucking you spend that long just kind of looking at everything, searching for everything, man, and then with the end, eh?
Well, I've got it on this. My mate Harry says the globe lie. We don't know if Earth's flat. Could be a fourth dimensional shape. We might never know. That's why they've released all the information as flat Earth theory and flat Earth debate. So as always, we're debating with each other, we're fighting each other against religion, against politics, against bloody science now. We just need to come together and say what it isn't, even if we don't know what it is.
Aye, well, that's what I always say to people, man. It's like no, I'm not trying to convince you that it's flat. Like, it's just look at the lies, man.
There's no curve. There's no curve. And you know the other ones, yeah, where you look at the stars in slow motion with a video. You good lad. Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
For ages, man.
It's major.
You know something, mate? I went my whole life being a fucking atheist, man, and then see that stuff, right? And also the Fibonacci code. And all that stuff,
see it in nature.
It's made me start believing that there's something else.
There's something else.
There's something. We don't know what it is.
Exactly. There's intelligent design, whatever that is, and
it can't be a coincidence.
It's definitely not a big load of bang bollocks where we're floating around lost in space, insignificant, nothing in an infinite universe. That's all made to give us globe syndrome and feel insecure and irrelevant.
Aye, that's it.
I'm glad you got that, mate. Did you know Moonlight chills water? It's fucking amazing. Now, funny enough, the Bible says that he'll create a greater light and a lesser light, and I'm thinking greater in temperature, lesser in temperature. So it's all there, and I'm not. And I know the Bible's been manipulated, and I also know there's a lot of truth in other religious scriptures. So I'm open-minded to religion, but I know there's something bigger than just materialism. They've got us like donkeys following a material carrot when there's a lot more vegetables and fruit to enjoy in this world.
I know. See that stuff as well, man. The 5G. That's
heavy, innit? And isn't it a coincidence that the same guys that are telling us that they go to space are also promoting GMO toxins that we eat, toxins we inject, and all this crazy radiation that we're bombarded with? We knew secondary smoke was bad, yet we allowed that same people, NASA, in 50 countries to bombard the air with chemicals. I'm more worried about the toxins than the temperature change.
I know, it's crazy, man.
Well, I'm glad you're on, not on the ball. I'm glad you're into it. And like you say, it's not about proving the Earth's flat. It's about proving the globe's a lie. Hopefully, when there's enough of us, we'll stop all that money going to waste and stop letting them poison us.
I know. Hopefully.
What's your name, mate?
I'm David.
My name's Howard. And if you'd like to see what we're up to on YouTube, look out for John Smith's Globe Lie. He's going all around the country and helping wake people up to the bullshit.
Brilliant, mate. I'll have a
That's
look
what we've
at
got to do, mate. Share it.
Enjoy.
Thank you, mate. You too, mate. Take care. We're showing people how to check for themselves. You only need a thermometer and a glass of water, and after half an hour you'll see that the full moon chills it by 2 or 3 degrees, and if you use a magnifying glass it'll chill it even more. So we're being lied to about the moon being a rock reflecting sunlight, because it'd be warm or neutral. It wouldn't chill, but it does. Check for yourselves. Also, make a video of a star or a planet and watch that video in slow motion with a camera with a big lens, and you'll see that there's no distortion from them twinkles. It's high definition. So we're being lied to about where they are and what they are. And they say that there's curvature. Mathematics states that a ball 25,000 miles in circumference would drop more the bigger the distance, yet no matter the distance you never lose landscape behind curvature. We're being lied to. Check for yourselves. That's science. No, he's interested. That's science. We're not asking people to believe, we're asking you to check for yourself. Easy experiments. 100 million a day gets taken from worldwide taxes to brainwash us with Hollywood. It could go towards helping cancer and all sorts. Thank you. Can I give you a flyer, guys? If you check for yourself, you'll see Moonlight chills water within half an hour.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Have a nice day. Can I give you a flyer, mate? Sure. Check for yourself. Moonlight chills water. They're lying to us. Yeah, it's crazy. You only need a thermometer and you'll see for yourself. We're being lied to. Have a nice day. Moonlight chills water. Within half an hour you only need a thermometer to check it for yourself. Stop believing scientists and do your own science. You guys like science? Check Moonlight. Water drops in temperature within half an hour. So it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. They're taking 100 million per day of our money to brainwash us. That could go towards helping illnesses and ending world hunger. Do you want one, love? Moonlight chills water. Check with a thermometer. And stars are not that far away. You can check with a easy camera. You just make a video and watch the video in slow motion. You'll see there's no distortion, so they're not that far away. Big Bang's a load of bullshit to make us feel irrelevant and insignificant. You're not. You're very special. Thank you. Would you like a fly, mate? Yeah. Would anyone else?
Very, very expensive. I have lived here, different bits of it, you know.
We're showing people how to do the science rather than believe the scientists. You can check yourself with a thermometer. Moonlight chills water. I know it sounds crazy, but you check for yourself and you'll know instead of believing them scientists that are taking 100 million a day. I saw you laughing. It's okay.
Seriously.
Well, Moonlight chills water. That's serious. If you check it with a thermometer, you'll know. Thank you. I can see you've got your hands full. Well, could I give you a flyer? Oh, gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. Hello. We're showing people to check for themselves rather than believe scientists that take a lot of our money. Well, just so you know, Moonlight chills water. You can check with a thermometer. That means it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. Have a nice day. Would you like a fly, mate? We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're being lied to.
Yeah, thank you.
No problemo. Can I give you a flyer, guys? We're showing people how to do the science. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. I don't know if the Earth's flat. All I know is that there isn't the curvature that we're told, because you never lose landscape behind curvature, no matter the distance. Also, check for yourself though, at water level, you live close to the ocean. Also, stars, we're told they're 20 trillion miles away. Personal observation. I don't believe secondary information anymore. I use my own personal observation. That's scientific method.
I think it's, yeah, I think
But this is why you should. No, you check it. You check it. I've got 1,000 stars. Make a video and watch that there's no distortion. They're very close. And Moonlight chills water within half an hour. It's a female energy. Thank you. Bye bye. We're being lied to. Check for yourself.
Thanks.
No problem. Have a nice day. I love the kilts. Yeah, I'll give you a hand now. Do you like science, sir? You check for yourself. Water gets chilled by moonlight within half an hour. We're being lied to for a lot of money that could go to a better cause. Thanks. Have a nice day. Bye.